Hi Northview. So today we're going to learn some basics of two-point perspective drawing, and I'm going to be just like you guys. You know, sometimes you don't have all the art materials you need, and if you have a ruler, that's awesome, but I couldn't find a ruler anywhere. So I'm actually going to use a piece of cardstock as my straight edge. So you're going to need drawing paper, a pencil with an eraser, and something with a straight edge, a ruler preferably, but if you're going to be like me, you can use a piece of cardstock, so or a magazine or anything with a nice firm edge that can help you draw some straight lines. So let's get to drawing. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is establish what is called the horizon line, and we're just going to do a really basic house shape to get started. And if you can keep up and do this very simple house shape, then you can take these same concepts and apply them to drawings of your own houses or neighborhood houses or maybe your grandparents' house or something, which would be really fun to do. So what I'm going to do is establish the horizon, and so I'm going to take my cardstock here, and I'm just going to line it up because it is a square. I'm lining it up with the edge of my paper so that I know that I can get a pretty nice horizontal line, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line very lightly. And hopefully that's showing up enough for you guys. Yeah, maybe kind of. And on the end of one line, I'm going to label that with an A. And on the other end of the line, I'm going to label that with a B. Now, the further apart you put your vanishing points, that's what these two dots are called, the more realistic your drawing is going to look, because it more accurately simulates what human vision is like. So when we can see something, when we're looking at a building or a landscape or something, we have a very broad spectrum of vision. So the further apart we can make these vanishing points, the more realistic this drawing is going to look. Now I'm going to take my straight edge here, and I'm going to draw a vertical line in the middle that goes both above and below my horizon, like that. So I don't know if this is showing up well enough. It goes both above and below the horizon, and then I'm going to then lightly draw to the back towards each vanishing point from the top and the bottom of each of these lines. Now, the reason why this works so well for perspective drawing is that it will accurately, or somewhat accurately, the building itself will get smaller at the same rate as it gets further away, because things appear smaller as they get further away from you. So I'm just lining these up from A to B, like so. Now, if I'm going too fast for you, you stop, you pause the video, and you rejoin when you have time. So what we've done so far is, first we've established the horizon line. We've drawn the first corner, or the front corner edge of the building, and then both sides of the building head back towards the vanishing points A and B. Now you can probably see that we're starting to get a building shape started already, which is really cool. And now we're going to define where the edges of the building might be, because the building doesn't fill up the entire view. So I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to run a straight edge straight back from here, and another one straight back from here. You can decide how big you want your building to be, like so. And once you have those lines drawn, you can erase the horizon that is inside your building. And you can erase what are called the orthogonal lines, or these lines that head back to the vanishing point. Now, you notice that I'm keeping the line that is the horizon on the exterior of the building, because that's like the edge for the grass if there was a landscape or something that's going to be happening there. So here's a very fast, down and dirty two-point perspective drawing. This video is probably appropriate for grades 4 and up, is my guess. So here you have the main basic building, and it's kind of magical. Perspective drawing is because you can really make something fairly complicated looking with very few lines. So you can see that the shapes get smaller as they go further back into the distance. And now we're going to go ahead and add a roof. And a roof is kind of a fun addition to a house like this. So I'm going to decide which side of the house I want to put the peak of the roof on. So I'm going to decide here, and there's a mathematical way to do it, but we're not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to guess where I think the center of that might be, and I'm going to draw very lightly a line straight up from that point for however tall I want the roof to be. Maybe I'm going to make a traditional Cape Cod. So I've established the height of the roof, however tall I want my roof to be. And then I'm going to connect from the peak of the roof to the edges of the building here. I wish I had my ruler, but you know, quarantine life is what it is, and sometimes you got to work with what you have, yeah? So here I have the front edge of my building, and now I want to have my building extend back. And after we've done the roof component, basically the rules of this drawing are the entire drawing is going to be made up of vertical lines, or lines that either go back to vanishing point A or head back towards vanishing point B. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the roof by drawing back to one of the vanishing points. Does it make sense for me to draw a line this way? No. Does it make sense for me to draw a line towards B? Yeah, so I'm going to use my cardstock here, and I'm going to draw that connection. Okay, and now I need to finish or complete my roof. Now I know that the roof is a rectangle. Now it's a rectangle that's on an angle. So what I know about rectangles is that they have parallel sides. So like this line and this line are parallel, and they are parallel in this drawing because they both go back to vanishing point B. So I need to have a line that's parallel to this line. Now this line was not drawn using a vanishing point. It was drawn by connecting here. So what I want to do is I'm going to find this parallel edge here, and I'm going to line my paper up, or my ruler if you're lucky enough to have a ruler, on that ledge. You're going to put your pencil on the back corner of the building, and then very carefully, without moving it too much, I'm going to slide my paper, trying to keep the same angle, back to my back corner of my building, and then I'm going to play connect. I'm going to draw on my paper, just like that. So that's really cool. And then I can erase this line that heads back towards my vanishing point that I no longer need. And I can erase this inside here. So there's the basic shape of a house. Now a house isn't any good unless it has a door. So we're going to go ahead and add a door on this side. And a door will be made up of 2 vertical lines. Now in class, we would use drawing triangles, because drawing triangles we would be able to get perfectly vertical lines by lining the bottom of the triangle up with our paper. But you know, we work with what we have. And the top of the door is going to line up to one of the vanishing points. So the bottom of this building and this part of the building use vanishing point A. So the top of the door is going to also use A. So I'm going to line up with A, and I'm going to use that as my connector, and I'm going to draw the top of my door right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some windows in here. Maybe I'll put 2 windows in on this side. I'm going to go ahead and draw 1 line, 2 lines, a little bit of a space, 1 line, and 2 lines. Now this is kind of eyeballing the windows. You know, the windows that are closer to the front corner of the building might be slightly bigger and a little smaller spacing if it gets further away from you. And now I'm going to use my paper, and I'm going to line up to vanishing point B, because this line goes to B and this line goes to B. So the windows would also line up with B. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up, and it's a good idea to draw both windows window parts at the same time. That way your windows are the same height, which in most houses, the windows are the same height, or they line up together. It just looks better. It's aesthetically pleasing to have some things line up. So here we have some really big windows and a little door, but it's you get the general idea. Now, if I wanted to be really fancy town, what I can do is I can build a little porch off of here. So let's build a little porch. So that's just for fun. So I want something to come out this way. Now, the rules of the drawing this far out, not counting the roof, are the lines either need to be vertical, which means straight up and down, or they need to line up with vanishing point A or vanishing point B. So if I wanted to make a porch and I were to draw a line straight down, that doesn't look very right, does it? It looks like it'd be going underground or something. And if I were to try to draw a line to A, that's not going to help me because I already have that line. So I must use vanishing point B. Okay, because you're going to do one of three things. You're either going to use A, B, or do a vertical line. So I'm going to bring that forward like that. Okay, now I want this patio space to be a rectangle. So I'm going to also bring a line forward from the back edge of the house. And I'm going to bring that forward, lining up with B and drawing that line forward. Now at some point this patio space has to stop. So I'm going to use vanishing point A. I'm going to line up with A, and I'm going to make that connection just like that. And you can see that we've got a little patio space here. Now I can go ahead and from here, I can add some steps. So I'm going to draw straight down and straight down, and then back towards A. Now I have some students, I've done this with students as young as 5th grade. And I've had some students really get into this. And in fact, I have a student this year who actually had a drawing accepted into the statewide art show, a 7th grader. I have a cat that's on my table helping me here. And ZQ got a kitty, off my drawing. Got his drawing selected of a lake house that he drew using this method as one of the top 100 art pieces, middle level art pieces in the state this year. There's going to be a digital art show coming out soon. He and another student named Erica got artwork selected in that show, which is very cool because it's a juried show, which means that people like handpicked pieces. So now I've got this like porch part kind of hanging out here. So I need to do something with this because that looks funny. So what am I going to do? Am I going to draw to A? No. Drawing down, is that going to solve it? No. So what do I need to do? Logically, it looks like I need to draw back towards vanishing point B. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line here, back towards vanishing point B. And then I'm going to bring this line from my house edge down. So this is a really simple house structure, and I hope that you had fun drawing along with me, and I look forward to doing some more art videos with you, and hopefully seeing you guys very soon. I miss you very much.